Hey parents, did you know that a small change in how you communicate with your children can significantly impact their response to you? And it's not about stricter rules or more rewards. It's something much simpler yet profoundly effective. In this video, we're going to explore a parenting step that's a real game changer, and it's easier than you think. Think about the last time you asked your child to do something. Did it go as smoothly as you'd hoped? If not, you might be missing a crucial piece in your parenting puzzle, and it's about connection. In this video, we're going to reveal the collect before you direct method. This strategy is more than just a parenting tip. It's a fundamental shift that can redefine your relationship with your children. From understanding the basics to applying it in real-life scenarios, we'll explore how this approach can become an integral part of your parenting style, leading to a more fulfilling family life. My name is Todd and I'm a psychotherapist and parenting coach. And most importantly, I'm a parent myself. My mission is to help you have the family life that you've always wanted and to raise children who thrive. Now, you might be wondering, what happens when we skip this crucial step of collect before you direct? How does it affect our children and our relationship with them? In just a moment, we'll contrast some common parenting scenarios with and without this approach, giving you a clearer picture of its impact. What is collect before you direct? I saw something happen just the other day that perfectly captured the essence of collect before you direct. I was walking in a park when I came across a family gathering, and I saw this mother who was struggling to get her son, who was about 4 probably, to leave playing and come have lunch. She was clearly pretty stressed out and had too much going on. She had just come up behind her son in a rush and insisted impatiently that it was time for lunch, not really noticing that he was deep into some imaginative play. The more she insisted, the more he resisted. Things were clearly just escalating until the mother gave up and walked away, saying, "Fine, don't eat, but don't ask me for food later." It wasn't a great situation and they were both very upset. But then an older woman, who I assumed was the child's grandmother, stepped in. She sat down beside him and entered his world of play for a few moments, laughing and connecting and asking him questions. I couldn't hear what she was saying to him, but moments later, almost magically, he willingly took her hand and walked over to the table with the food. This was collect before you direct in action, and it was exactly what the situation called for. The phrase collect before you direct was coined by my mentor, Dr. Gordon Neufeld. It isn't just a technique, it's a fundamental aspect of nurturing a child's emotional well-being. It's about ensuring your child feels connected and secure with you before you try to steer their behavior. While this might seem like a simple interaction, it reflects a practice seen in cultures worldwide and is deeply tied to our children's nervous system responses. These moments of connection signal safety and understanding, creating a secure foundation from which parents can guide more effectively. But it's important to note that collect before you direct is not a one-off strategy to be used only when we're seeking compliance. It should be a consistent part of our home culture. But in a way, it's less about us feeling connected to our child in the moment and more about them feeling connected to us. This feeling of connection in the child is what empowers us as parents. So the true power of this method lies not in the moments of direction, but in the ongoing culture of connection. When our children feel this consistent thread of understanding and care, our guidance becomes not only effective, but welcomed with trust and openness. How do you successfully collect before you direct? I'll show you how to collect before you direct by first telling you contrasting stories that are based on experiences clients have shared with me very recently. Scenario A. It's a typical weekday morning in the Johnson household. The clock is ticking towards 8 a.m. and the atmosphere is charged with urgency. Mrs. Johnson is in the kitchen multitasking between preparing breakfast and packing lunches. She calls out to her 6-year-old son Max, "Hurry up, Max, you'll be late for school." Max, still in his pajamas, is sitting on the floor engrossed in his toy cars. He barely registers his mother's voice. Mrs. Johnson, growing impatient, raises her voice. "Max, I said get dressed. We don't have all morning." Max frowns, his play interrupted, and tears start to well up in his eyes. He begins to wail, resisting his mother's instructions. The morning quickly spirals into a flurry of tantrums and tears, leaving both mother and son frustrated and exhausted as they finally head out the door. Scenario B. Now let's visit the Thompson household. Like the Johnsons, they're facing the morning rush. Mrs. Thompson is also busy in the kitchen. She needs to get 7-year-old Lily ready for school. But instead of immediately issuing instructions, she first joins Lily in her room. Lily is drawing at her desk, lost in her little world. Mrs. Thompson sits behind her and gently says, "That looks like a beautiful drawing, Lily. Can you tell me about it?" Lily's face lights up as she explains her drawing. After a minute or so of chatting and laughing, Mrs. Thompson softly adds, "It looks like you're having a great time, sweetie. Let's get ready now so you can tell your friends about your art at school." Lily nods, smiling, and willingly starts to get dressed. The morning proceeds smoothly, with Lily cooperating and even helping her mother. They leave the house with smiles, ready for the day ahead. What sets these two scenarios apart? It's all in the approach. Let's explore how. So, how do we practically collect before we direct? Dr. Neufeld lays out some simple yet profound steps to ensure that we connect with our children effectively. It all starts with how we engage with them when we come into contact. The language I'm going to use here is going to be a little more geared towards younger children, but the principles are the same for children of all ages. You would just make a few adjustments. First, approach your child with a warm and friendly presence. This means getting physically closer, down at their level, and ensuring your facial expressions and body language are inviting and open. If your child seems a little resistant, don't push. Sometimes just being in their space in a non-threatening way is a good start. It's about sharing the moment, not forcing it. Aim to engage in a way that encourages eye contact, smiles, and nodding. These are signs of genuine connection and receptivity. It might be through a shared joke, a warm comment, or simply showing interest in what they're doing. Then, convey closeness to your child in some way, through a gentle touch, a hug, or even through words that express care and understanding. This step reinforces the feeling of safety and connection. Once you feel that connection, evident in their responsive eyes, their smiles, and their nods, that's when you can introduce your direction or your request. This is not about manipulation. It's about ensuring that they're emotionally ready to listen and cooperate. Dr. Neufeld emphasizes the importance of not assuming anything. As parents, we need to look for evidence that our efforts are resonating with our children. It's not about what we feel, it's about their response and engagement. Integrating this approach into your daily interactions can significantly change the dynamics in your home. It's a subtle shift with profound impact, paving the way for a more responsive and respectful parent-child relationship. Before we continue, if you're finding these insights helpful, please show your support by giving this video a like. It really helps our channel, and it helps other parents like you find this valuable information. And if you're not already subscribed, consider joining our community by hitting the subscribe button below. We share tips, strategies, and real-life parenting stories every week to help you on your parenting journey. Long-term benefits and daily integration of collect before you direct. Now that we understand how to collect before you direct, let's explore a crucial question. What lasting impact does this approach have on our children and our family life? And how do we make it more than just a technique, but a natural part of our daily interactions? Consistently collecting before directing has profound long-term benefits. It fosters deep trust and security in children, which are cornerstones for healthy emotional and social development. Over time, this approach builds a strong foundation for resilience, empathy, and self-regulation in your children. But let's be real. Integrating this method into the chaos of everyday life isn't always easy. There will be rushed mornings and unexpected challenges, and times where your patience is running thin. How do we maintain this approach during those testing moments? Here are some practical tips. Start your day with a connection ritual, like a morning hug or a brief chat over breakfast. Use transition moments like car rides or bedtime as opportunities for connection. And remember, as always, it's not about perfection. It's about intention and effort to connect, even in small ways, consistently. And an important part of this process is self-reflection. Being mindful of your own emotional state and how it affects your ability to connect is key. Taking a moment to breathe and center yourself can make a big difference in how effectively you collect before you direct. And remember, adopting collect before you direct is more than a parenting strategy. It is a complete shift in the parenting culture within your home. It's about creating an environment where guidance is based on mutual respect and understanding, leading to a more harmonious and connected family life. As we've explored today, this collect before you direct approach isn't just about improving responses in the moment. It's a proactive strategy that helps you prevent many behavioral issues from arising in the first place. By building a strong foundation of connection and understanding with your children, you're setting the stage for a smoother, more cooperative parenting journey. However, even with the best foundations, children are gonna misbehave sometimes, or they're not gonna be clear on what the rules and expectations are, so they're gonna need guidance on how to understand the consequences of their actions. This brings us to another crucial aspect of parenting, teaching consequences in a positive and constructive way. How do you guide your child to understand the outcomes of their actions without resorting to punishment? This question is vital in nurturing a child's sense of responsibility and decision making. And the good news is, we've covered this in detail in our next video. There, you'll discover effective strategies to teach consequences that align with the respectful and empathetic approach of collect before you direct. So, if you want to continue building on the positive parenting techniques that we've discussed today, I highly encourage you to watch our video on teaching children consequences without punishment. You'll find the link right here. It's the perfect next step in your parenting journey. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video, where we can continue our journey of becoming more thoughtful and effective parents.